Look at that. That's crazy. A lot on there. That's great. Let's party.
I'm Chris Williams. Join me weekly for the CW Pod on Iowa Everywhere, where I do a lot of sports business, the business of college sports, breaking down college football, and of course, intriguing interviews as well, weekly on Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Welcome to Murph and Andy here on a Wednesday. And Andy, the question I have for you is, how can we have this much crap in our home? It's just nonstop downsizing here as we get ready to move, but there's no end to it.
This has become one of my favorite parts of the week is finding out which box you've been looking through, which piece of which file from your archives you're moving or packing up to move now. We've all got those, bins, files, junk drawers in our house that are full of mementos from our life. I know you as somebody who saves a lot of that stuff. Yeah, too much of that stuff. So, and then some of that stuff I'm familiar with and some of it I'm not. So it's been really interesting to hear you recount all the stuff that you have rediscovered and bring it back out to the light.
Yeah, we've donated so much. We've put some in storage. We've sold some. We've thrown some away, and we're still not to the point where we could even attempt to move. And then once in a while, there's something like a crawl space that we've forgotten exists and that we put a bunch of stuff in there a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And Jenny went in there this week, went down a crawl space, and then got covered with insulation and everything, and her asthma kicked in, and she acted a lot like Hassel did when he jumped into those fiberglass insulation sheets in his underwear with the Heisman Trophy.
Like a total hypochondriac.
Yeah, she's not, but yeah,
that's what he was.
Yeah, he was for sure. So there's something, and I found something else today. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, sponsor shout out. Barntown Brewing's Igloos return November 5th. They are taking reservations for them. And we're going to do this. Every time we walk by those, we think, well, that looks fun. We want to wait till it's cold. Because the time we walked by them and thought, boy, we should do that. It's just, freezing out and people are inside these little igloos just look like they're having a great time. We need this escape. I'm going to wait till January.
Yeah, it may not be cold until then. That's the first problem. I think Pete and those guys have pushed it off until November 5th. To bring them out. These started off as a COVID thing, so you could just dine in there, just you and your COVID. And they were such a big hit that they people wanted them to just keep on going. So they've become like they call it like the Igloo Village out there on the deck at Barntown, and people make reservations for them. They sell out. It is. It looks cool. They got the lights on them and stuff. So, yeah, they're taking reservations now, but they'll actually have them open on November 5th, starting that.
It's like the people that go walking in the Arboretum in January or February just to feel like spring or summer is possible. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for today's sports and more. Coming up, Dodgers awake, Iowa uniforms, and Rhule out. That is all presented by Guest House Tavern and Oyster. Nightly specials. Wednesdays, of course, Walleye Wednesday. That's fresh walleye, salt and vinegar fries, $20. Now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Talked a little with Tim Hawkins this morning. He's reminding everybody with harvest season, it's a good time to think about tax loss harvesting to reduce your tax hit for 2025. Probably know a little bit about what that is, but he can explain the rest and make your money work as hard as it possibly can for you. WealthCharterRetirement.com. I'm going low today, and I'm not going to show a picture because we don't.
Is it
need
your
this.
chin?
It should do that. All right, let me start with that. On Monday night, I was eating frozen pizza, and some of the sauce went out, and like a blob went on my chin and burned the crap out of my chin.
Like lava.
Like burned it so bad. I was like, oh man. And I knew immediately what was going to happen. Like it blistered and the skin came off. And like ever since then, I mean, I have to be on TV, right? I'm anchoring the news. And so I can't shave it. That just makes it worse. I've just had to cover it with a ton of makeup, and that hurts. It's really painful. And it's going to be a scab, and I'm just going to have to use more makeup. But today I was like, I got to shave this. So I tried to shave it down, and I made it worse. So anyway, but what else I did this morning was I cleaned out the bathtub drain in the kids' bathtub, which is frequented by my teenage daughter who has long
hair,
blonde hair.
Yeah.
It's very thick. There's a lot of hair. And man, that stuff comes out and gets in the drain. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's not pleasant, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, it gets down in there, and then like you just got to kind of take the drain apart, get in there. I've got some real long tweezers that I have to pull in there and get that nasty hair out of there. Oh, it's so
it
gross.
can get your gag reflex going.
Totally. Yeah.
But I think the sink where you shave might be worse. Like that's
But I mean, my hair is short. It goes down there. My and Eddie's hair, but Kyle and Elon have long, beautiful blonde hair, and you know it takes a lot of maintenance. It's beautiful. I love it, but it takes a lot of maintenance for them and occasionally for me. But back to the pizza to Circle Herc, great name. It was lots of matzah. Which everybody knows what I'm talking about. And then like the top, there's so much matzah that it forms like this leathery crust on the top and really insulates the cooking sauce underneath and just turns it into like molten lava. It's so hot.
We've all done it. We've all bitten into pizza too soon, but man, for it to come out of your mouth, land on your chin, and leave like a 3rd degree burn.
I know, it was bad. It really did. And I kind of didn't think that you would notice it, but then again, I got to remind myself who I'm talking to here.
Right.
Murph notices everything.
Yeah, that's how we get more people on YouTube, is to point out these skin flaws.
Like has anybody had a pizza injury before?
Just the roof of my mouth, for sure.
Yeah. That's true. That's
common.
Pizza's kind of a dangerous food.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, the roof of your mouth, reaching your arm in there to get the pizza, you can burn your arm, like singe it on the side of one of the racks or something. Yeah, you got to be careful with that pizza. It'll get you.
All right, I'm going high here because looking through, doing the downsizing, did not expect to find this. It was in an envelope that I could have easily thrown away, but I at age 21, I wrote down my goals and dreams for my life. Age 21.
Okay. You going to read them to us?
Yeah, I'll read some of them and see how I did. I mean, there's still some.
You haven't made any edits, have you? I want the real thing.
No, I haven't. A loving wife and children. Boom. That's dream number 1. Got it.
Dream come true.
A modest house with lots of nature around it.
Yeah. Who was that? Who wrote that?
I got the modest house. Would you say this qualifies as a lot of nature around it? Probably not really.
Well, it's 100% nature around it. What else would be around it?
Well, I don't know.
Is the house built in a subway tunnel?
No. Okay, so
there's a yard and trees, and that's nature.
Not
it's not the wilderness.
Okay. We're going to say 2 for 2.
Okay, two for 2.
To have financial security.
Yeah.
I think I have financial security.
What a modest goal for a 21-year-old knucklehead.
I know. To help my parents and family with money. I did some of that, so I'm doing well here. To travel a lot, to see Europe and Ireland. Hey, write it.
There
They
you
say
go.
writing down your
Boom.
goals helps you realize them. I
Yeah,
just wish I had
right.
looked at these. Ski every year. Total fail.
I didn't know that you were a skier at all.
Yeah, well, my babysitting
anymore.
when we lived in Vermont was they dropped us off at Mount Snow every day, my sister and I. So up until age 8, I skied all winter, and then I would travel. Even when we lived in the South. I'd go up to North Carolina and ski, but I have not skied in a long
You're
time.
skiing in North
Carolina.
Carolina?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's some southern
was
state skiing
snow there.
and skiing in Boone, Iowa. Don't forget.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
I do forget. Yeah.
This is a douche goal at age 20 to win an Emmy. So that was a goal. To be written about in USA Today. That seems like an outdated goal. And technically, this kind of happened. I did appear in a front page article, but it was about how Hawkeye fans were divided on whether Tom Davis should go. And
Front page of
off,
the Des Moines Register you're talking about?
no, front page USA Today, the sports section of USA
Oh,
Today.
okay. All right.
The front page story was because Davis had already been told his contract wasn't being renewed, but as we all know, that becomes the most recent season Iowa has gone to the Sweet 16. So on sound off, it became a real divide between fans who thought Davis should stay and fans who thought this should go on. So it was
Seems like a
cover
strange
story.
story for the front page of USA Today.
It was pretty passionate back then. Was it?
Slow news day?
This would be like 1999. So I don't think you had settled in yet, right? I mean, it was
No,
it
but the
was
rest of the
number one
country gave
topic.
a shit about Tom Davis at Iowa?
Well, you got to remember, Iowa used to, I mean, in the 80s and 90s, Iowa had a lot of basketball success. And here's this guy that by any measure had a lot of success at Iowa, and he's being pushed out the door, and everybody likes him and respects
Yeah.
him. But many fans feel like, it's time. It's time for a change. And it's time to try to reach the next step. And Iowa did reach the next step. It was just a step down. To send my parents to Ireland. I did that. To be at peace with myself.
Another very
Yeah.
nice, modest, mature goal.
Yeah. To know I'm good at sportscasting. That's quite a goal. Fame.
Yeah. Well,
What a douchey goal. Fame. What is that? I mean,
I think you've got that.
I would not write that down again.
Well, no,
Believe-
because you would be worried it would sound bad. But
Yeah.
I mean, that
It
was
does
something
sound
that
bad.
you valued then, and so you were honest.
Oh, I was
wrong
21.
with that.
I mean, just for perspective here, Colin's 21. Yeah, I mean, it's that age. You're posing all the time. To leave the world a little better place. That's a tough one to judge. To see my friend John a lot. I've done that. I
Yep.
see him every year. A nice wardrobe. Today it's a blue shirt. A tie to be added.
You're getting down on the list here, so they're not all going to be winners.
Yeah, right. Great furnishings and decor.
Decor,
Decor? I don't know why.
not like guest
Ooh.
soaps.
Here's one
Hand
for
towels.
you, Andy. Here's one you'll like. A fulfilling sex life.
Honey, thank you for that. That was really fulfilling. I feel very fulfilled. Fulfilling? Who were you right? Was this for a class or something?
No, it's just for myself. And then
Did you speak that way to yourself?
I don't think so, but I don't know. It's an awkward exercise. Write your goals down, and that helps them come true. Wait till we get to the goal. These are just the dreams. I'm not even to the goals yet. We won't go to those today, but to have the whole family together at Christmas. Yeah, that's happening. To work near my family. Well, at the time I wrote this,
Wrong.
Yeah, that
you
didn't work.
Didn't get that one.
to work in
Well,
Orlando.
no, you did work near your family though. I mean,
did.
you
I
worked,
worked in Gainesville.
You worked in Gainesville, Florida.
right
There
up
you
until
go.
the murders happened. So, yeah.
Not the
all right.
murders of your family.
No, just to be
murders.
clear. No, not the murders of my family. Let's get the buzz, AD. Let's get segue right out of this. As soon as
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Andy, before we get to the buzz from Logier Heating and Cooling, serving the Metro for 120 years. So do you think, Andy, do you think that exercise shows that this helps these dreams come true, or that you look back and it's more amusing?
Well, I mean, it's certainly helpful to kind of lay out your goals and what you'd like to do. I don't. It does.
Didn't help with that snow skiing.
At the time, ski every year. At the time, you probably didn't think that someday you would look back and laugh at that list.
No.
Right?
Some of it is just kind of not recognizing my 21-year-old self, like some of the words chosen or some of the things that mattered at that age that, seem silly now. I did put a salary goal in there. That's the only thing I didn't read. I did reach it because I'm sure it seemed really high when I was that age, but my dad said to never publicly talk about salary, so I'm going to have to honor that.
That's absolutely what my dad felt also, dad and grandfather. I feel the same way.
The Dodgers have won the first 2 games of the NLCS in Milwaukee. It is being looked at, the series, with maybe some added interest because Major League Baseball is maybe hoping that the Brewers can win this to show that a small market, small payroll can actually beat a monster payroll, the biggest payroll in Major League Baseball. And the regular season kind of made it seem like that could or even would happen. And then the series started, and the all-star team in Los Angeles kind of looks inevitable. It's 2-0 and now headed to L.A.
Yeah, it is possible, and it happens all the time. I mean, the Yankees and Dodgers and Red Sox don't win every year, and they always have the highest payrolls. And the Dodgers only just now seem like they have gotten into a groove where it looks like they could win multiple championships. It's taken a long time, and they've looked silly sputtering around. I mean, this doesn't always happen. But, Major League Baseball, come on. I mean, they want the Dodgers to be the one in the World Series. I mean, they don't want the Brewers and the Mariners in the World Series, as interesting as that would be, because, those are 2 teams that have never won a World Series, and 1 team that's never even been to the World Series, the only remaining team that's never even been to the World Series.
You don't think they want the Brewers, though, so they can say, see, we don't need to do what the NFL's doing. This works.
I think that would be a nice thing for them to be able to say, but I don't think they would prefer that over having, one of the 2 highest profile teams in Major League Baseball in the World Series. And there's a good story that, I mean, you've got Shohei Ohtani in there. You have, looking at a repeat winner. There are a lot of, pretty significant storylines that are with the Dodgers. So, no, I don't think that they would prefer the Brewers over that. I think they would, if the Brewers did make it, they would have that nail to hang their hat on.
How about Yoshi Yamamoto pitching a complete game? We don't hear of these anymore unless it's a no-hitter.
No, and this is one of those things that back in the day of Bob Gibson, I mean, doing it all, he was almost expected to do this, right, all the time, and now it's like, whoa, no, this guy pitched 9 innings. I mean, this is Bob Feller is rolling over in his grave, but it is rare, and it's just not done anymore. But it's another reason to believe that this series is just over and the Dodgers just have it in a total headlock, because I mean, they took a 2-0 series lead on the road in the second game. They didn't even have to use their bullpen. So, I mean, they're totally fresh. It's too bad. I mean, I would like to see Milwaukee win. I'd rather see them win. I'd at least like to see a good series out of it. But, I mean, look at Los Angeles's lineup.
I know. The Brewers win 4 out of 5 now. That seems too much with that Dodgers pitching staff. Andy, I don't know if you're aware of this, and it seems to be true. I tried to fact check this because these days it's so hard to know what's parody, what's AI, what's real. But Tyrese Haliburton grew up a big Brewers fan. He's from Oshkosh, so it makes sense. But he was supposed to throw out the first pitch at a Brewers game last year, and then the Pacers eliminated the Bucks, so they postponed him throwing out the first pitch. And since then, he is openly and publicly rooting for whoever's playing the Brewers. He's just not over being canceled for the first pitch. And AD, you found this photo. This is a legit photo.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
And he was wearing Cubs uniforms while the Brewers were playing the Cubs.
So the story is true.
It does seem to be true. I haven't seen him confirm that's why or anything like that, but he's certainly rooting against the Brewers.
So Andy, do you kind of like this pettiness? Is he trolling? Is it just way too much? Because you can kind of understand the Brewers not wanting the guy who had just eliminated the Bucks and the incident with his dad throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that the Brewers did that. But I don't like this about Tyrese Haliburton, and I've liked everything else about him up to this point. I mean, I feel like it runs counter to his character. I don't see him. I've not seen him this way up until this point.
It's petty, for sure.
It is, and it does seem like, I don't know. I mean, to openly root against, like, not only the team and their brass who made that decision, or the brass made the decision, the players didn't.
It's not the players.
Not only the
fans.
brass, but all the fans as well. I mean, those are a bunch of his friends and the people that he grew up with. But at the same time, you know, my cousin Brian is a huge Brewers fan, and anytime we get into talking about Brewers, he like shifts into this really sad character where he will quickly point out how unsupportive many Wisconsin fans have been of the Brewers for the longest time. He's, you know, all these people that turn out for the Badgers and the Packers, they just don't for the Brewers. They haven't for the Brewers. And he's never pointed or painted a real rosy picture of loyalty with Brewers fans. And so I can almost hear him commenting on this and be like, oh yeah, doesn't take much. But yeah, I mean, I don't like this. This just doesn't seem like it goes along with the Tyrese Haliburton that I feel like I've come to know.
The Brewers are at fault here too. I understand they're thinking about the optics of that really emotional series last year and all that, but have him go out there anyway. I mean, it would have been a much talked about moment to have him out there. And yeah, maybe some Brewers fans would have booed because it's still fresh, the playoff series and all that. They should have let him do that. I don't know how they told him about this, or if they tried to have him back. I'd like to know more. Like, did they try to have Tyrese Haliburton back and he just said no at that point? Because this is really progressed when in the first series he's openly rooting for the Cubs and wearing Cubs gear. And now he's openly rooting for the Dodgers and wearing like a Dodgers jersey.
Boy, I think
so
if I'm the
pissed.
Packers, I invite him to come out to Lambeau Field and make sure I make a point of not following the Brewers lead here.
Interact on YouTube. The email is Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, Murph_Andy, powered by Cellular Advantage. U.S. Cellular is now owned by T-Mobile, so you get the best of both worlds. Number one Iowa plan, number one United States of America plan. Some more hot topics. The Iowa Men's Basketball Media Day is today. And the day before Media Day, Iowa unveiled these new uniforms to a lot of opinions. And they're fine with me, I guess. I thought they would go the Iowa script here on their new uniforms, but AD, you're the Hawkeye fan here. What do you think? These remind me of Michigan's uniforms. I'm sure that's been pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I don't love them. I don't hate them. I'm sure they will have the Iowa script alternates, you know, like the gold ones that they always had.
Would you like to see the Iowa script permanent? Like, would you like to see this uniform with the Iowa script instead of the Iowa block letters?
No, I don't think so. I like it as like an alternate thing. I like it as a handful of times a year, kind of a cool, hey, big home game, we're going to break out the script uniforms thing. I don't think it needs to be. But yeah, I like these. They're clean. Honestly, if you had showed me this and not told me they were new, I don't know that I would be able to tell the difference between these and their home uniforms from the last few years. I don't pay that much attention, but yeah, they're fine.
I think they're sharp. I like them a lot. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. I think they look classic. They're nice and clean. They've minimized the use of the yellow. I think
that's old gold, Andy.
Well, whatever. But I mean, I just think it's a good, clean looking uniform. I like it a lot. I think it fits Ben McCullum. I think it's classic. I think it makes me think of Tom Davis.
This is something we only probably consider in October, but these are so much better than those gray practice scrimmage
so stupid
uniforms that are just awful that the Hawkeyes wear sometimes with the Tiger. Those are so bad. So compare like that to this, and I don't know how you could not at least say they're fine. But let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas. WCI Pools and Spas names in Urbandale.
Iowa's new basketball uniforms are fire, fine, or fail.
Okay, so fire is going too far for me. All right.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. We got
to fire.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more fine here, but I feel like I just gave a fire rating on that, so I'll go fire here.
AD.
Yeah, I'll go fine. I think they're fine. It's definitely not a fail. I don't know that anything would be fire to me, but yeah, this is fine.
How do you go fire with?
Right.
And sometimes it's relative too. Like Iowa State football, they've worn so many eyesore uniforms that when they went to Ireland and put on like a sharp outfit with a helmet, pants, the whole thing, the script on the side of the helmets, you're like, oh, that's fire. Well, it's partly fire because you've suffered through some bad uniforms. If you take these Iowa uniforms and compare them to those gray scrimmage uniforms with the big charcoal Hawkeye logo on it, it makes these look fire. But I think most Hawkeye fans, AD, would go fire on the script, right? Those are beloved.
Yeah,
script
they are.
uniforms.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, men's college basketball all-name team from NCAA buzzer beaters. Andy, here's who we have. These are the five that they chose. All Right from Xavier and Always Right from Rio Grande Valley. They're brothers. The Wright brothers. All and Always.
Wait, those are brothers?
They're brothers. And then
I want to talk to those parents.
From Louisiana Monroe, we have Wiggy Ball.
Mm-hmm. Wiggy Ball. And Wiggy's must be his nickname. Short for Wigman.
Not sure. Like Chit Chat, right, with the Iowa Hawkeyes. That's a great name. Then from Sam Houston, we got Po Boy King and Vanderbilt's.
That's just great. Po Boy.
Vanderbilt's Chandler Bing.
Yeah.
So your parents' last name is Bing, and they're like, hey, we love friends. Let's name him Chandler. And then from Lemoyne, a school I'm not familiar, Tennessee Rainwater.
And he looks like a guy that is tired of people making jokes about his name. Po Boy King, boy spelled Boigh.
Yeah.
Which is a spelling I have never seen. But Po Boy King is just, I mean, this guy, goes straight from basketball into the restaurant world. Just names the sandwich shop after himself. I mean, it's perfect.
I'm leaning toward Always Right as my favorite.
Always right.
Just your whole life, you're always right. The guy's always right. It's kind of the opposite of what you say you've been through with Fales.
Yeah, it's never fails is what it is. Is never
he's
fails.
Always right.
Always right, never fails.
I mean, you guys could have a podcast,
yeah,
always right and never fails.
Yeah. Always right, always fails, never fails, always right. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I know that this guy, it's funny. My wife for a very long time in her career was a nurse in the neonatal intensive care unit. So babies all the time. And so always coming home with stories about unique names that parents have picked. And then you hear kind of the stories behind the parents themselves, and it makes a little bit more sense. And I find myself wanting to know more about the parents that picked these names.
Yeah, like I was eating a frozen pizza, and I just took it out of the oven, and I bit into it, and it felt like molten lava hitting up my chin, and I said, "Oof!" And so we named our kid Oof. I mean, that's how some of these names, Kahala used to tell some of the story. There's some interesting backstories for how they came up with these names. They're not all. Who'd you point out? AD Jalen Rose.
Yeah, Jalen Rose. I was reading a thing that his name, the name Jalen. Whoops, you see me now. The name Jalen didn't exist before Jalen Rose's mother named him Jalen. It was like a amalgamation of a couple of different names, like a couple of his uncles. And so everybody you know, Jalen Hurts, any Jalen you know, is essentially named after Jalen Rose. The name didn't exist before 1975 or whenever he was born.
I think I know more Jadens now than Jalen's, but I've called that name a lot in the highlights around here. Jaden, Jalen.
Heard a story of a kid named his name was Jack Daniel. Their parents named him Jack Daniel and thought, okay, that's just kind of a fun play on that, or a little bit of irony or whatever. And no, it was just cut and dry. The dad was like, "No, I like to drink. That's my favorite drink."
And that's correct too, isn't it? It's Jack Daniel, even though we all say like Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it's apostrophe,
plural.
Right? Yeah,
yeah, apostrophe. Yeah.
Tennessee whiskey.
Worth mentioning, the women's top 25 poll came out. Defending champ UConn is one, runner-up South Carolina second. But we shouldn't take this for granted when we continue to have a state of 3 million people, have two teams in the top 25. Iowa State will start 14th and Iowa 21st. Iowa has its youngest team in more than a decade, Jan Jensen said. Audie Crooks is the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. And Andy, you may recall Iowa State starting maybe, I think, a little higher than this, even in the top 10 last year, had a really tough
start.
Pre-conference schedule, and
they lose to UNI last year. Was that it? Oh, that was.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Just did not start well, and eventually dropped out of the top 25. They'll look to correct that this year. Penn State is headed to Iowa City for Saturday night's game without QB1 and without head coach 1. Aller's injured. Franklin is fired, and Nebraska head coach Matt Rhule, who is in the top 25 now with his Cornhuskers, as you would expect, being an alum of Penn State and being the most commonly talked about potential candidate for that Penn State opening. He was asked about it right away at his press conference.
I love Penn State. Met my wife there. It's my alma mater. Fan since I was born. I was born, I think, probably had a Penn State shirt when I was born. I love Pat Kraft. And really sad to see Coach Franklin go. I came here for two reasons. I love the community here and wanted to live here, and I love it here. And I wanted to rebuild Nebraska football. And, Troy and I understand the steps that you need to take to make us Big Ten champions and national champions. This place is elite. And I want to be a great father, and I want to be a great college football coach. And so, I'm not going to talk a lot about job openings when they come. Maybe it's been a while here, but this is what happens when you win. I've dealt with it. We've won at Temple, and I dealt with it all the time. I've dealt with Baylor. I'm not going to talk about those things ever. I'm not going to talk about my contract here. I'm going to talk about the team. But I absolutely love it here, and I want us to continue to take the steps needed for us to turn this thing into a beast.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means. If he's taking a stance that I'm never going to knock down speculation and a rumor, then he just sticks with it, and I can understand that, and I can even respect it. I don't know what it's in his heart. I did listen to the whole thing, the whole answer, and it sounded to me like a guy that if he is offered the job at his alma mater, it's going to be really hard for him to say no. And I get that. You understand the pull your alma mater has on you.
But you know what? If that was you, okay, and you were in his position,
right?
Wouldn't you say something very similar to that?
Yeah,
I
especially if I knew in my heart of hearts that there was a chance I might go or that I would listen.
Yeah,
if
but,
I absolutely
but
knew
really,
I
though,
was staying at Nebraska, then just say that. Or maybe you don't because you get another pay bump out of it if you don't knock down the speculation.
You're being honest. He sounds to me like he's being completely honest there. He does. And at the same time, you're also being a businessman. You're not showing all of your cards, and you don't need to.
Right.
You're not saying too much. You're not assuming too much. He hadn't been offered the job, I don't think. I mean,
no.
He is. That looked to me like the perfect balance of honesty, of candidness and restraint. So I think he needs to say some of that stuff. He just has to say. I mean, he's got a job right now. He is doing pretty well at the job. He's not going to win a national championship there, but he's got to say that. And, he just, at this point, this is what people need to hear at Nebraska. It's probably what people at Penn State need to hear too. And he, at the same time, is not committing himself too much in any direction.
And it also reinforces with Nebraska fans, they immediately think to themselves, oh, all things considered, I'm glad this is our coach. I don't want to lose him to Penn State. And I think that's what most Nebraska fans said or felt as they watched that. Yeah, and when you look at who Penn State can hire, and they've said they're going to take big swings, when you look at who they hire, they probably can't wait for a Kurt Cignetti or somebody that's going to be in the college football playoff, you would think, Indiana. I mean, that's like mid to late January these days, right? Mid to late. Yeah, it is. So do they wait that long? Now, Penn State reportedly has said Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame's coach, might be at the top of that list. I don't know. I mean, do you fire James Franklin to hire Marcus Freeman? And Marcus Freeman's biggest win is over Penn State and James Franklin, but I don't know.
Well, it's a really difficult situation. And one of the reasons is there's just very few people that can fill that vacancy, right? That have a big enough name, that have enough credentials, that have a situation where you might be able to get them. I mean, that's a really narrow list. And then, of course, it's not even mentioning the fact that the expectations are Mount Olympus high. So, God, I mean, you would think that it would give Penn State a leg up to make this move now with James Franklin, and they can get, to the head of the line and put that job out there. But at the same time, I mean, the guys that they're going after, that they're probably are going to be unavailable for a longer period of time this year.
Yeah, you could opt out of a minor bowl game, but you're not opting out of the college football playoff.
I mean, but I mean, if I'm a Penn State booster, and particularly somebody that has contributed to this buyout, this $49 million buyout, James Franklin, I want them to shoot the moon, and I want them going, balls Marie after Nick Saban and Urban Meyer. That's what I want them doing. I mean, like all that you can. Look, man, I am not putting this kind of money into a buyout unless I know that you are going after the absolute best possible candidates, the ones that can actually almost give us a guarantee that we'll get to where we need to go. And those two guys, I think you hire either one of those guys, no matter how they feel about coaching right now, I think you instantly give yourself a chance to actually win a national championship there.
Joe Brady's name has come up a lot, but I think that's a tough sell. He's the offensive coordinator of the Bills.
They're not in a good position right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can sell that to a fan base that has to pay $49 million. The Icy Hot Bowl is coming up Thursday. It's been called that. Browns and Steelers. Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, both in their 40s, starting at quarterback in that game. That's kind of cool. And for those of us who watched the NFL in the 70s, 80s, 90s, quarterbacks couldn't make it into their 40s back then, but now they're a little more protected than they were in that day when they ended up looking like Ken Stabler, who, when he was 30, looked 50.
Icy Hot and Ben Gay, they both have that just really strong wintergreen smell. Like if you put that on, in high school and you had a sports injury or something, like everybody around you knew that you had on Icy Hot. It was like there was no disguising that. You knew that scent immediately. That or they had rubbed their bodies with, Kodiak's chewing tobacco or something. I mean, it's just like the strongest smell.
Oh yeah. And
why did they make that smell like that strong? It was almost like a wintergreen version of Vicks Vapo Rub. Like they wanted to have like a sinus clearing effect also.
And you'd put it in somebody's jock as a practical joke. And that was not funny to the person who had to suffer that. And then
the Dry Lambs put the liquid heat in the football team's jocks.
Ben Gay might be part of more lame jokes over the decades, where you just tried to work Ben Gay into some kind of humor in the locker room. Halloween in North Carolina will be interesting this year, Andy. Here is just Ross Martin put this in his yard. If this is the yard decorations we're going to see, what are the costumes going to look like for Belichick and Jordan?
The costumes, I mean, it's a perfect setup, right? Because it's a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend couple costume.
The woman can look hot.
She can look hot.
She can wear the boots.
Man doesn't really need to spend much money. Just get a hoodie.
Cut the sleeves off.
Kind of sloppy and
don't shave.
Glower around. Yeah,
be
right.
Grumpy.
Especially for, trophy wives and their older husbands. I mean, this is a great costume.
Yeah, this is going to be all over North Carolina, and I suspect beyond. Big entertainment news, Andy. Apple TV Plus, the logo well. It has been rebranded as Apple TV. Look at that difference. Apple TV Plus is now Apple TV. How much do you think the focus group was paid for that?
Yeah, right. I mean, there was at least a group of people that wasted half a workday on this decision, right? I mean,
I got an idea. Let's take the plus off.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same consulting group that's been working with HBO. Where he's just like coming up with the most obvious. It's almost like in Coming to America when Eddie Murphy goes in to get his hair cut and the guy just takes the ponytail, cuts it off, throws it over his shoulder, goes, "That'll be $8." It was like the easiest piece of work that these guys have done, the most obvious thing. And they probably probably still got some money for this.
Let's get some more here on a Wednesday.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio is going to be proud of this segment. I got some good stuff for you here.
All right.
Here you go. We were talking about this the other day. It's right there. Facebook Marketplace. There you go. Come and go sign. Somebody hawked it, putting it up for sale. $750. That's it.
I'll bet this sells.
Where would you put that?
You would have to have a big man cave, or a lot of people like to party in their garages and they hold those garage parties. That's pretty good garage party decor right there.
Would you put that in the master bedroom?
No, I would not.
What would your 21-year-old self think about that?
It would make it a goal to have this sign someday.
I mean, if you put that in a room, I mean, you have to decorate around that, right? I mean, that becomes the set, like the focal point of the room. Come and go. I am a little jealous of that. I do like how he does seem to have it secluded in his backyard. Like that was stolen. Yeah. He stole that. This person stole that, right?
I bet he gets $500 for it. I don't know about $750, but that's the starting price.
10-foot come and go sign. These will become rare. Yeah. Well, they already are. From the Polk County Mugshots page, I ran across this guy. His name is Joseph Brian Wall. He's 43. He is 7 feet tall.
Really?
235 pounds. Busted for public intox. So not a really big crime there. We've all been there. We get it. But this guy looks like some kind of final boss, doesn't he? I mean, you've battled your way through the drunk tank, and then you got to fight this guy as the final boss at the end.
Yeah, like could be a Bond villain, maybe. 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a Hassel character.
He
does.
He
He's
does
got
a
the-
little, with a
With
wig.
the beard. You kind of can see Hassel's face.
Yeah.
In here.
He doesn't look that old. I don't think it lists his age. Oh, no, he's 43. He's 43. Yeah, he's... Man. Can you imagine putting that guy in the police car? 7-footer.
You may have to just sprawl out. I don't
That's
think he
just-
can sit up.
That's just that is a great mugshot. 40 years ago yesterday, my favorite baseball call of all time.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
There's were the days where the Dodgers were not doing well in the postseason. Tom Niedenfuer had just given up a home run, a game ender to Jack Clark, and in Los Angeles, and then does that to Ozzie. I think that's the only time I've ever heard Ozzie called anything but Ozzie. Also, definitely by Jack Buck.
Go
Calls
crazy.
Smith. That was Ozzie's only home run, his only game-ending home run ever. It was the only home run he hit from the left side in like a number of years. Picked a perfect time to do that, and I remember I was in my house in our living room watching that right there, and we went crazy.
And like all the best calls, it doesn't sound like something he had in mind or was written down. It
No.
just sounds spontaneous, which adds to the excitement.
Yeah, finger on the pulse. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. Coming up with Mr. Movie, we're going to talk about our favorite Diane Keaton movies, and we mentioned her passing on Monday, but we failed to kind of add it into what has been a really rough year in Hollywood. Have you taken inventory of this yet, Murph? I mean, David
No.
Lynch, Val Kilmer, Gene Hackman, Michelle Trachtenberg, who I had to look up. I didn't know who she was. Michael Madsen, Robert
about Michael
Redford,
Madsen.
of course, which is
Yeah.
just an absolute huge loss. Ozzy Osbourne, Graham Greene, which has been, he'd been in Dances with Wolves and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of other great stuff. Was in the Yellowstone stuff as well, and then Diane Keaton. That has been that is a rough year. Of
That is,
losses
yeah.
in Hollywood.
It's just Hackman and Redford and Keaton. I mean, those are
And Val Kilmer.
and
Hu-
Val Kilmer. Yeah, those are
huge,
giants.
Huge. I digress.
Oh,
This just I don't have any other way to fit this in, but did you know that the number one item that Walmart sells more of than any other, the item they sell more of than any other in the entire store, in the entire country, in the entire world, this is the one thing that Walmart sells the most of?
diapers.
No. Bananas.
Really?
They sell more bananas than anything else. Bananas. They sell about 12.4 million bananas every day. And I guess I can understand that because, first of all, anytime I'm in Walmart, if I don't just flat out buy them, I at least think about them. If I'm anywhere near the produce section, you can always use more bananas. And we go through a ton of bananas.
I do like bananas. I didn't know that Walmart was the United States leader.
They're not I'm not saying they probably are the United States leader, but
They probably are if they sell that many every
everything
day.
that Walmart sells, they sell more bananas than anything else. But I'm over in the produce section and there's like a dude stocking bananas. Like every time there's like a banana guy. He's
Banana
like,
guy.
I think there's a banana guy. I think
What's your
they
job?
have-
I'm a banana guy.
yeah, banana control. He is replenishing the bananas, and people are particular about the bananas that they buy. And right, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it depends, like which bananas you want. You're like,
It's all about the timing.
Well, when am I going to eat them?
Yeah.
How many people are going to eat them? How long do they need to last? I mean, those things go into your mind when you're making a decision on bananas.
It's an art. It's an
It
art
is.
form.
It is, and it's a gigantic industry at Walmart and everywhere else. All right, on digress. Can we take a moment, Murph,
Mm-hmm.
to give it up for the late, great Jim Otto? Now he passed a couple of years ago, and we talked about him a little bit, but mostly we just kind of talked about, his look, the face mask, that weird U thing coming down from his helmet.
Yeah.
Look at this guy's helmet, first of all. Just look at his helmet. It looks like he wore it on a motorcycle and crashed.
It looks like a CTE exhibit.
Okay, all right. He is...
Chin strap.
that ain't doing anything for him.
That's like the helmets that you buy for your kids now for like $4.
Right. Yeah.
And that's Jim Otto, okay? He was a center.
00.
And a kicker. Mainly, he's one of the greatest centers of all time. I think he's in everybody's, at least their top 5 list, maybe top 2. He is unquestionably the grittiest NFL player of all time.
It's a big statement, Andy.
It is. I'm going to back it up right here. I'm bringing the receipts. You ready?
All right. Yes.
Over 30 concussions, 25 broken noses,
Jeez.
2 cauliflower ears from being kicked in the side of the head, torn muscles, groin pulls, sprained ankles, hip pointers, neck stingers, kicked out his teeth, all of his teeth. Double pneumonia during the season.
Still played.
And he kept playing. Broke his jaw during the season and kept playing.
Of course he did.
Several broken ribs, over 200 stitches to his face. Broken cheekbone, continued playing. Broke every finger playing football. Broken zygomatic arch bone, which is part of the skull, detached retina, multiple joint replacements, 28 knee operations, amputation of his right leg above the knee.
Oh, my gosh.
Both shoulders replaced, 3 near-death experiences related to infections or septic shock from football-related injuries, 74 total football-related surgeries, and he died at age 86.
Wow.
He played 15 seasons. He was a first-team All-Pro in 12 of them. That's incredible.
Football's not that violent. I mean, other than the 70-plus surgeries.
Jim Otto was like one of those unbreakable combs. He was like, that's incredible.
There's no doubt in my mind he's sitting in this photo.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. That's after he lost his leg. Yeah.
Dear God,
Can
stop,
you imagine
Andy.
that?
Dear God.
That's incredible. How tough was Jim Otto?
Tough.
Tougher than anybody else. You said it was a strong indictment. Well, I backed it up. There you go.
You did.
This day in 1986, the longest postseason game ever in Major League Baseball history. The Mets beat the Astros 7-6 in 16 innings to win the National League pennant. They, of course, went on to beat the Red Sox in the World Series. And finally, in South Carolina, Amanda Peden and Sam Lee, this is their house. It's a decoration.
Oh.
For Halloween. They first started this in 2023. They use smoke machines, special lighting inside, clever camera work. Since then, the Fountain Inn, South Carolina Fire Department has gotten regular calls from
how's the fire department enjoying this?
Worried drivers driving by. The fire chief said his department stays in touch with the couple to make sure that a real fire doesn't actually break out. But look at this, man. This thing it's not real. That is incredible. It's
pretty impressive. It's good the fire department has sounds like a positive attitude about it.
I hope they got a call before they actually flipped the switch to turn the lights on the first time. But that's pretty impressive. And so was that Moore segment. I might add. I'll pat myself on the back there. Good job, Moore team. There you go, either or.
Nice job, Moore team. Grimaldi's fan photos, Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. And who do we have, AD?
Andrew Bailey sent this one in. This is Hogan and Luis enjoying a nice night out at the Either Or Playground.
All right. And someone will enjoy a nice night at Grimaldi's with a $50 gift card. We'll give that out in 2 days on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody. Presented by P&P Small Engines.
Yes, Mr. Movie. Yes, presented by P&P Small Engines, where we are seeing signs that we might actually have fall.
Yes, but I talked to Jeff today, and he said last year's special, just keep rolling it.
Last year's or last week's?
Last week's.
Last
Sorry.
week's. Okay, last week's special. That is half price off pickup, service, and return on a mower or a blower. Mr.
Exactly.
Movie, are you in an earthquake?
No, I didn't know I was on the video camera. I've been fighting with it all day. There.
You look great. Yep, right there.
Oh,
There you go. All right. Yeah.
An hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, all right. Hey, you're doing well. We are out of the box this week, Mr. Movie. Mike Woody, who almost took his video camera to the carpet. Diane Keaton died at age 79. This, I guess, the death of a 79-year-old should not take me by surprise, but I just had not heard that she was in failing health or anything. I didn't realize she was 79 years old. That kind of snuck up on me, but she's had quite a body of work. So our out-of-the-box topic this week is a Diane Keaton movie. And I'm going to start with arguably one of the greatest American movies, Godfather 2. It won Best Picture, and Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and others understandably get most of the attention from this movie, but Diane Keaton is spectacular in this.
It was an abortion. An abortion, Michael. Just like our marriage is an abortion.
This
Heavy
scene
scene.
at the end, it is so heavy. So Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, he thinks that she has lost the baby. And in that moment, when she sees him slipping away and to the point of no return, she just sends him into a rage by telling him it was an abortion. I would never allow another child to come into this world. And he just flips his lid. But Mike, you remember this well. She knows she's trapped.
But every time you see the movie, I don't care. I've seen it probably 20 times. That scene is so damned intense. And both of them. I mean,
Pacino goes from like 1 to 10, and most of the attention's on him, but she's great in that scene because she's trying to hurt him as much as she possibly can. And she does. She was a gret actress
and perfectly cast for that part. Although I was listening to NPR this morning, and there was a Fresh Air segment where they were repeating an at-length interview with Diane Keaton, and it was really interesting. She said, to this day, she had no idea why Coppola wanted her for that role. She said, I didn't fit with those guys. I didn't know them. I didn't know anything about that world. I was like, I had no place there. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a quirky actress who would play the quirky part. And I was cast into this part where I was just supposed to be the most normal one, right? The waspy representative.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand why I was in there. But at the same time, I'm listening to that. I'm like, yes. And that's what you were supposed to be in that position. But she still, sees it or saw it to her dying days as like, he should have picked somebody else. But I mean, it's
interesting.
Fit so perfectly. It was really interesting.
Yeah, it's a long ways from Annie Hall, but also Pacino and Keaton had a romance at the time. Mm-hmm. You can kind of feel that chemistry there too. Andy, what did you go with?
Well, this movie is just one of those movies that you can watch with kind of any crowd. And I saw it. I think my mom was with us, and we were on vacation. We went to see Father of the Bride, and it is such a funny movie. It's just a good movie, and she's great, and it's another supporting role. She's Steve Martin's wife, but Steve Martin, their daughter is getting married, and the whole wedding. They're wealthy, and the wedding is just this giant pain in the ass, and it's really expensive. But it ends up being just like a clinic put on by Steve Martin and Martin Short, who are great friends and they have such chemistry together, but they just get out there and cook. It's just a funny, light movie with a nice ending to it that'll play in front of any audience.
It is. It's just that it's a comfort food movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
It does. It's a good movie. What do you have, Mr. Movie?
You know, she was such a great actress and she played so many different roles, but I think still one of her most challenging roles was in a movie with Warren Beatty called Reds, which is based on true characters, and it's just a fascinating story and one of my favorite movies of all time. It's brilliant filmmaking, and Diane Keaton holds her own with two pretty heavyweight actors in the same movie.
In this photo we're checking here, are they that short? Is she that tall? Is she standing on something? I don't recall this scene. Do you know, AD?
I don't recall it either, but I don't think she was that tall.
Yeah, she's like a half a head above Jack Nicholson there. Yeah, it's a good choice. AD, you're going in a different direction.
Yeah, I'm going with a movie called The Family Stone. It's not your typical Christmas movie. It's polarizing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. In my house, we watch it just about every year. My wife and I really like it. Diane Keaton is the matriarch of a family that includes, it's a dysfunctional family. Dermot Mulroney, Rachel McAdams, Luke Wilson, Craig T. Nelson is her husband. Sarah Jessica Parker is like the woman coming into the family. It's funny. It's uncomfortable, but I think that describes a lot of the holidays for a lot of people. And yeah, it's, again, you might not love it, but if it's up your alley, you're going to really like it.
Did you like it, Mr. Movie, Family
Yeah,
Stone?
it's a really, really well-made movie.
Tron wins the box office this week. Let's start there with a review of Tron. I recall the Jeff Bridges Tron from, must be the early 80s maybe. So this is a long time in coming.
82. I think I believe this came out the same month I started reviewing movies. I found some notebooks a couple weeks ago, and it was one of the first in the stack. So must have been one of those. This one, the original Tron was fun because it was so different, and it was so technology ahead of its time. The new one, the story, there's no story. It's just, we're trying to get here, we're trying to get there, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. You don't know any of the people. You don't care about any of the people. Jeff Bridges reprises his role from the first movie, and you've seen Jeff Bridges lately. I have no idea what he was saying.
Well, yeah, 1982 is a long time ago. Yeah, this doesn't look for me, for what the budget looks like. Even though it led the box office, it wasn't like a blockbuster or anything. So what grade would you give this story lacking Tron?
And I gave it every chance. I saw it in 3D. I saw it in the IMAX. So, I mean, if it's not going to blow you away there, I would say it's a good C+.
Is it worth it to see just the special effects, the 3D, the IMAX? Is that worth a $15 trip to the movies?
No.
No. Okay. Roofman.
Oh my God. This is absolutely craziness. Jenny will love this movie. Channing Tatum plays, it's all based on a true story about this guy who breaks into places and steals stuff, and then he takes it back to his home, which is on top of a toy store where he has basically broken in and lives there in between robberies. Falls in love with a woman there, and then life comes in and catches up with him a little bit. But
so is it? It looks like Reese Witherspoon, and is that Peter Dinklage?
That's Kirsten Dunst, isn't it?
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, you're right. Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's got some good moments, but it wasn't nearly what I wanted it to be. Although Channing Tatum is naked half of the film, and if you've never seen his naked butt, you get plenty of it in this movie.
I don't need to see it, but
I
I'm
didn't
sure it
either.
has
They
a lot of
didn't
appeal.
Mike, yeah.
So what is the grade for Roofman?
It's a B, maybe even it edges towards a B plus, because at the end they give you the true story. They take pictures of all of the people that were in this, and they don't look anything like Channing Tatum.
I can imagine that. This sounds like something that would be a really good documentary, maybe more than a feature film.
It's got that feel to it, but it's
House of Dynamite.
Here's the surprise of the week. I have no idea what this movie is. I've never heard of it. I'm watching CBS Sunday Morning, and they've got this report on it, and it was enough of a report that it's like, you know what, that's going to be a fun movie. This is one of the most intense movies you will see all year. It is basically everybody in Washington showing up for work, and then they're told, oh, by the way, there's a missile on its way. And so all of this training that they've had over the years doesn't really apply, because most of it they've forgotten. And it doesn't say it's based on a true story. I don't think it's based on a true story, but it is about as good a movie as I've seen this year.
Is this from the director? Is this from Catherine Bigelow, the director of Zero Dark 30?
Hurt Locker and stuff, yeah.
Hurt Locker, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
so she handles those tense movies really, really well.
And this is not an upbeat movie, correct? I mean, it's an apocalyptic type movie.
You don't walk out skipping and singing a song, no.
Sure. What's the grade for this?
This would be an A minus.
Good.
Yeah,
okay.
and it was darn close to an A.
We had Andrew Bailey, one of our viewers, listeners. He requested that you watch Play Dirty, which is a new movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it's on one of the streamers, I think.
Yeah, he said he didn't make it through 10 minutes, but he wants you to take a shot at the whole thing.
I've got 10 minutes for him.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I'll
check
give him
that
15 just for the heck of it.
Also, AD and I have watched. Andy, I don't think you've gotten to it.
I
or
almost
Mike.
watched this last night. I'm sorry that I didn't. I'm going to watch it tonight.
So John Candy, I Like Me. My dad loved John Candy, so we would watch John Candy movies over and over and over again. I don't know anybody who didn't like John Candy. He was in so many movies. I suppose the ones among those that resonated: Planes, Trains, and Automobiles are great. Uncle Buck. He's great in Splash.
Splash, he's great. Yeah.
Stripes. The list goes on and on.
Stripes, yeah, Spaceballs.
I was surprised as I was watching this that he made 9 movies with John Hughes. So he was in 9, including some favors where he just came in and was the Polka King in Home Alone, just to spice the movie up a little bit. But this documentary, directed by Colin Hanks, it's really good. It's got all the clips. It's got John Candy's been gone for 31 years now. So his children are adults now. Of course, they must be in their 30s and 40s, and the daughter looks just like him. The son does too, but they're great. You learn a lot from them. It starts with Bill Murray. Every celebrity you can imagine, everybody from SCTV is in this. Everybody who worked with him is in this. So it's really good. It's really interesting. Interestingly, Macaulay Culkin probably is the most enlightening about how wonderful a person John Candy was.
Because he was with him in Uncle Buck and Home Alone. Right?
Yes,
So,
yeah, and he really Macaulay Culkin's really good. It also will make you feel old as he points out that he is now older than John Candy was when he died.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that kind of hit me hard, but also this is almost like therapy for his family. You learn in this, and I don't think we're surprised by this, and some of the interviews get uncomfortable. He's constantly asked in interviews about the fat man being funny and, boy, I bet you don't want to lose any weight because your roles would go away. And he has crippling insecurity about that. And, ultimately, his whole life is shaped by the fact that his dad died when John Candy was 5 years old, and his dad died on his birthday of a heart attack. He was just 35. So that just stays with him his whole life. And this is all in the movie. But AD, you have a different perspective on this because you were you're far younger than me. So these movies didn't make an impression on you the same way they did me. So how was it for you watching this?
Yeah, I know him more for Home Alone and like Cool Runnings, some of like the later movies. And I remember when he died, I remember not thinking he was like a young death or that it was real tragic. Yeah. But now that I am, the age he was when he died, looking back, it's wild. I liked this movie a lot. It probably didn't hit me as hard as it hit people who remember him when he was young and kind of at the height of his fame. But I learned a ton. And as you said, every celebrity is in there. It's so cool to look back, like when SCTV was as big as SNL and like all of the people who were on those shows and Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara and all of that and the stories. And as you said, Macaulay Culkin just really brings it home. Absolutely worth watching.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, gonna watch
Andy,
that tonight.
I think you'll really
sure.
like the SCTV memories, and there's an underlying sadness to it too. And boy, some of those interviews you watch and you just think like, oh man, that's such an uncomfortable question about
a lot of cringe.
Weight. There's some cringe there, but they also bring it back around with some of the reality. They're like he kept looking for different doctors because he wanted a doctor that wouldn't tell him you need to lose weight, and you need to stop drinking. And
he smoked, and I think, and
we're
I think
we're all looking for that doctor.
Yeah, I think he's often kind of compared to Chris Farley, and they did have a lot in common, but he had more dramatic acting chops.
You see that in JFK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah, and JFK as well. I forgot he was in that one, but I understand it's like 20 minutes into this documentary before you see anything about him on screen, right?
It is. It's a lot of his growing up and how his dad's death shaped him, and he kind of becomes the matriarch of the family at a young age. But man, there's a bunch in there I didn't realize about the Toronto Argonauts and owning that and devoting his heart and soul to that organization. But I was also reminded in my favorite movie of all time is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I just think it's a perfect 91 minutes. And that scene where Steve Martin just keeps going and you can see the hurt. And this movie makes you understand where that hurt came from and how he tapped into that. But, I'm an easy target. I like me. He goes on. It's great acting. It really is.
Yeah, because it seems like he deserves it at the time. You're kind of waiting for Steve Martin to snap and finally really let him have it because he's been terrible, right? And then when he does,
you feel bad.
John Candy just immediately turns it around and you're like, oh my God, he should have done that.
Well, Mr. Movie, we'll get your thoughts on that next week if you get a chance to watch it. In the meantime, what else you seeing this weekend?
Black Phone 2.
Black Phone 2.
I'm one of the 10 people in the country that saw Black Phone. So they personally called and asked me to see it.
All right. Well, good. You
counting
picked up
on
the
you.
Black Phone. All right. Enjoy the movies, Mr. Movie.
All right, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mr. Movie, presented by P&P Small Engines, and it's time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston. Andy, we'll start with you. Iowa has 6 games left as we sit here today. Which looks like the toughest on the schedule?
Oh, well, at this point, to me, the one that I feel like I have the most, it's between the game with Oregon and the road game at USC.
Agreed.
USC looking awfully good last weekend. I think I'll take that road game at USC, although I don't expect them to beat Oregon at home.
I'll take Oregon. I think it was made worse by losing to Indiana. I think Oregon they have so much money and talent and a good coach. I think it's going to be a really challenging game to slow Oregon.
I do too, but I give Kinnick a little bit of a bump, and that trip west down. So I'm with Andy on the USC, but those are the maybe unwinnable games. Yeah, Murph, Iowa State's got 5 games left, which looks like the toughest on their schedule.
Oh, this is also tough, but I'm going to go with the easiest choice here, just at TCU. I still think, much like Kinnick, Jack Trice Stadium has been a tough place for conference teams to win, other than Iowa State. So going to TCU, that looks tough.
Yeah, man, I look at these games, all look winnable and they all look losable. But
at Oklahoma State's at this point the only gimme left.
I'll just for the sake of argument, I'll say this BYU game coming up just because I don't know what the status of Kyle Conradi might be at that point. I think that could make a big difference in that game. Even though they've had some time to rest and they're at home. I don't know how rested they'll be.
All right, Andy, this photo is going around the internet. For the rest of your life, you can only eat food from one of these regions. Which region do you choose?
Well, I'm going to cross out Greenland there, so I think that's pretty easy. I think I'm going to take region C, I think, because that looks like it's got some.
I think you get Italy in there.
Italy and maybe a little bit of Greece, and you got a bunch of Asia and some Chinese food. And you know how I feel about the Mongolian food. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that, right? And the Nepalese stuff.
You said Italy's in Region C?
I think so, yeah.
C then.
Okay.
Thank you.
D looks good with a lot of that Southern Asian, Indian food. I would
Mediterranean
probably go.
food,
I'd probably go G, where you get South, the United States South, and then all of like Mexican food and all that. Yeah. That's Throwdowns.
Now the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. You can find them. Oh, that's not Game Day. There it is.
There's
You can
Game
find
Day.
them in Ankeny. You can find them in all those regions. No, that's probably not true.
Not yet.
You can definitely find them in all the regions of the United States. Wherever you are, there's a Game Day near you. They could give you a free consultation, let you know what you need, what you don't need, and help you along your health journey. Eagles fans, guys, we know this, are a different breed. While getting ready to shoot a report for NBC Sports Philadelphia, Dave Zingaro got a compliment from an Eagles fan who was having a rough night.
Dave, I love your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
That guy's getting arrested. Hey, Dave, I love your work.
That one,
Thanks.
that's a compliment Dave's going to remember.
Yes, it is.
Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Yeah, Iowa's new basketball uniforms are. Oh, that hot tub is going to feel good very soon here. Fine, says 66% of the vote. 20% say fail. That's the Iowa State fans. And then 14% say those are fire.
Well, thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a Wednesday. Don't forget, two guys, Chris and Chris, coming up live tonight at 7 across all Iowa everywhere. Keep the good times rolling and easy by liking and subscribing. We're back Friday. We hope you are too.